Good morning, Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Good morning. Good morning. It is the 13th, Friday the 13th. And about 9-ish in the morning. Yeah, 9:01 a.m. And here in my office doing a little bit of work. Let's see, waiting for my notification to go out here that I'm live. Hopefully do a little sound check with that. Notifications have been going a little bit longer than normal lately. That I'm live. Yesterday my frame kept freezing. Hopefully today that does not happen. If you're tuning in live, drop a comment, #live. If it's on the replay, #replay. If it's on YouTube, you're always on the replay on YouTube. So, all right. So, a couple of people now joining. Hello. Drop a comment, #live if it's on the live. If it's on the replay. Good morning, Joel. Joel, did a notification go out that I was live? Because I haven't gotten my notification yet. Usually my notifications. I'm assuming you can hear me. And if I'm freezing, let me know again today, like yesterday. Hopefully today that won't be the case. I wanted to talk about how most restaurants, or a lot of restaurants, pick their wines. I was on a focus group yesterday. I was on this focus group with a bunch of other restaurant owners, restaurant managers, bar managers. And it was one of those focus groups where they paid us to go on and they asked a bunch of questions about the wine industry. I'm not sure who they were doing the research for. It was one of those research groups. So it was a focus group I was on. Got paid nicely to do it too, so that was awesome. And so there's my live notification. So hopefully some more people will be tuning in here. So great. All right. So, so I'm on this focus group yesterday. It was an hour-long call. Bunch of restaurant professionals are on. I don't know where they got everybody, but it was a wide mixture. There was a farm-to-table restaurant on there. There were some casual places, places that were small independent chains. So it was really cool. And as I started asking questions, they were doing it for the wine industry to figure out technology for the wine industry. The wine industry is lacking technology when it comes to online ordering, education, things like that, compared to like food companies. Food distributors have much more technology as far as ordering platforms, things like that, than most wine companies do. So for wine companies, it's still a matter of, in a lot of places, calling your rep, placing your order in your rep. A lot of food companies, you go right online and click what you want and send your order in. You can still call your rep with food companies too, but it's more and more online ordering where you don't even probably know who your rep is. But the wine industry is a bit different. So they were doing this focus group on what we can do to improve the digital aspect, the technology age of wines. And then, of course, they wanted to know how we pick our wines, how we get influenced to pick our wines. And I was really shocked. I guess not so shocked. Most restaurants that were on this group, every restaurant but one restaurant relies upon what the sales rep walks in and shows them. And most of them are buying from the big companies. These are restaurants from all across the country. Like 90%, 95% of people on the call we just buy what our sales rep brings us. And if we like it and it's a great price, we put it on. And when the sales rep walks in with another one we like, that's a better price, we'll swap it out and put that one on. And we keep this cycle going of just whatever the sales rep brings. And there was this one other guy from Chicago who had a farm-to-table restaurant as well. And him and I were both like, no, you train your sales reps. You train your sales reps to fit in with your theme and to bring you stuff that you actually want. High quality. Price really doesn't matter as long as the quality's there. So him and I were like agreeing, but we were like the outcasts on this call. Of course, for us, it's a matter of visiting the winery and personal connections, all that kind of stuff. As soon as I started saying that stuff, I lost everybody. They were like, oh boy. So the moderator kept referring or calling on me because we were the ones dealing with the most companies. We deal with about 25 different wine companies. I think the other restaurant out there, the Farm Table restaurant, only dealt with 4 companies for their wines in Chicago, and then everybody else just deals from basically 1 or 2 big guys to buy all their wine. So, but the wine knowledge of all these bar managers and restaurant owners and chefs was like very, very, very minimal, and they all basically admitted they get their education from what the salesperson's walking in and showing them to drink and to taste. And the biggest problem with us is the biggest problem I have with the big companies, the big wine companies out there, like Southern Glazer, which is one of the country's largest ones. They walk in with stuff they have to sell, that they have quotas for. So what happens is they'll pick up a new brand, or a brand will give them pressure. Let's just say Barefoot Cellars, for example. Barefoot's a big brand. Barefoot will say, we're coming out with a new wine, Moscato. We're coming out with a new Moscato wine. And Southern, if you want to carry this new Moscato wine from Barefoot from us, you need to guarantee us so much in sales. So now that trickles down to the sales managers, to the salespeople, that if they don't place 8 new placements of Moscato, Barefoot Moscato this month, their job is in jeopardy. Their bonuses are in jeopardy. Their pay is in jeopardy. Something's in jeopardy. So what happens is these guys, instead of going through the portfolio and handpicking some small family-run winery from Italy or California or Spain or from France or wherever, that's a good value, good wine, organic, this and that, they literally stock up with Barefoot Cellars samples, and that's all they do all month is make sure they can put Barefoot Cellars Moscato into as many new accounts as possible. And sometimes they'll get good bonuses based upon that by doing this. So their focus is just meeting quotas of the big brands, of things that are being influenced. So Barefoot will say, Southern Glazer, you have us in 20 states. If you want us in more states, you need to move your volume up higher in New York. You need to move your volume up higher in Florida. You need to move your volume up higher in Texas, or whatever it is. These markets need more. And that's all these guys do, is they just go push. Sometimes it's push crap. They push this stuff. And so him and I agree, the other guy on the call, Spencer, that you train your salespeople that don't bring me that stuff. Like, what I want. I don't want the stuff that you have to sell quotas for. And once you start playing that game with the wine reps, not that it's not a game, but once you put those things out there, some of these big wine companies, they won't come see you anymore because they have it in the portfolio, but they're not pulling these samples and doing these things, and they're not doing work with a lot of people. When I do a work with is they have somebody from the actual company. So, for example, if a winery from Italy, the owner flies into New York and wants to do a tour through New York, through his markets on the East Coast, they'll pair up the owner or the winemaker with a rep every day to go through the territory. It's called a work with. So the sales rep will have a work with these people, and but that's the only time they really would even have something of interest, like for myself or this other guy Spencer here. So and then the amount of times that people change your wine list was shocking. I think every restaurant on there except Spencer and I agree that we change it weekly. All the other restaurants, 6 months. Every 6 months we change the wine list. The one guy, when they asked the question, well, how do you pick new wines? The one guy was like, well, I tasted this new Cabernet, and I gave it to the owner, and he liked it, so we bought the case, and hopefully we can sell the case. And it was like, I know there's a lack of wine in a lot of restaurants, or lack of thought process of it. But this phone call was pretty funny yesterday. I was like, I asked the moderator, is this being recorded? He goes, it's being recorded, but it's for their own purposes, so they don't miss any notes. Oddly enough, we were in Lake George 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. Last week we were in Lake George, and one of the restaurants we were at, we made friends with the owner and this and that. He sent us a follow-up email. Hey, I was on your website. I saw your wine list. I saw your videos. Really great. I need to move in a lot of directions like you guys are doing. That's great. And the first thing he said was, I know my wine list needs help. I know my wine list needs help. Where do I go to start building a good wine list? This is a qualified restaurant owner. Like, he's been in the restaurant industry for years. And he had a couple okay wines on his list, but when you go down the strip on Lake George, those wines that he had were in a lot of other restaurants, and they were just duplicate wines. You can walk into any restaurant. That's one of my big gripes. When sales reps bring me in, and they don't do this anymore, they'll bring me in a wine that you can find at every other restaurant, every other store. It's like that doesn't make us unique. That doesn't make us exciting. We can get the same wines everywhere. So, yes, that's how a lot of restaurants pick their wines. They just rely upon the sales rep for their education. This is what I found out yesterday, and they rely upon what their sales rep is walking in and showing them that their sales rep's trying to push. So, all of our sales reps will sit down with me ahead of time, say, "Hey, I want to come see you in 2 weeks. When they pour me the taste, what are you looking for?" And I'll say, "Okay, I'm looking for Sicilian wines, family-run wineries that can host a group of 24 people, wineries that don't do more than 100,000 cases a year, 50, whatever it is, and these are my criteria. The grapes I'm looking for, the profiles are, I'm looking for a new summer white, I'm looking for a new sparkling, I'm looking for a nice, Sicily, maybe a nice Syrah from Sicily, Nero Diavolo, and so that's how we actually go forward with planning our wines with our sales reps. So that's the process that we work on here. Let's see. So it is Friday the 13th. Tomorrow in Ellenville is a huge day, folks. Tomorrow in Ellenville is Blueberry Festival. Blueberry Festival tomorrow. We are not opening early. We normally open for lunch. We're not opening early. We just have not. It's not that I want to say we have lack of staff. We don't have the lack of staff. We have plenty of staff. We kind of like our hours. We really like our hours and our sanity from, opening at 3 o'clock on the weekends, 5 o'clock in the middle of the week, and closing 2 days a week. I was at another restaurant, last night here in Ellenville, and the owner told me, "Yeah, we're going to 2 days, closing 2 days a week too. As soon as summer's over," he goes, he goes, "We closed one day this year during the summer," and he goes, "We haven't missed a beat financially. We have not missed a beat. People come the other nights, and the restaurant gets busy on other nights." And I said, "That's exactly what happens. Once people start getting used to your schedule, they will accommodate. Instead of going out on a Tuesday night to you because you're close Tuesday, they'll come out on a Monday night for you or a Thursday night." And that's what's happened with us. So we haven't missed a beat revenue-wise, and our staff is much happier knowing that, hey, every Tuesday and Wednesday they got off, and that there's no variables on that. So they're really happy with that. So we're happy not opening at 12 noon for lunch and 11 a.m. on Sunday. So the Blueberry Festival's happening. We're not even going to be serving food outside. We're actually going to be promoting our wine tour, our wine company, our Hudson Valley Wine Company business, and we're going to be giving away a free wine tour in the Hudson Valley. So you stop by tomorrow at the Blueberry Festival, we'll have a booth out front of the restaurant. The restaurant will be open for drinks. So if you want to come inside and grab a cocktail, a beer, something like that, get some air conditioning, then the restaurant's going to be open for stuff like that. But you're not going to be able to walk in and say, "Hey, I want a burger, a steak, and a salmon, and dessert." We're not going to be open until 3 o'clock officially. And I think during the Blueberry Festival, we weren't really busier until later anyway because people were walking around at that hour. And then later they wanted to come in. So 3 o'clock we open tomorrow, the Blueberry Festival. We'll be out front promoting the wine business. We'll be giving away a free wine tour here in the Hudson Valley, your car, our driver service. So make sure you sign up for that. That'll be at the booth. And that's it, folks. I have to run out of town. I got to go to Hyde Park, Minuteman Press. I got to pick up some printing stuff there that we got printed. I got to go there today. And I got a couple of phone calls here in the morning right after this. So everybody have an amazing day. Hope to see you soon. Be careful. There are some heat advisories out there. It's been very hot. I saw this morning cute on one of the whatchamacall, on one of the Facebook groups, one of the long distance trail running groups. It was like, heat advisories. Do they really apply to us runners? All the comments were like, "No, those are for normal people. Heat advisories are for normal people. Runners just run. Doesn't matter what the weather is, what the temperature is, how cold or how hot. We just run." And yep, that's us. We just go out and run. When I ran yesterday, it was like 90 degrees. Yesterday when I went out for my run in the afternoon, and it was hot. It was a hot one. So everybody have a great weekend, and talk to everybody later.